With a revenue of $21.3 billion, Starbucks has changed the coffee culture around the world. The man who made Starbucks for what we know of it today once said, "I cannot offer you any specific secret recipe for success, the perfect plan, how to reach the pinnacle of success in the business. But my own experience suggests that starting from scratch and achieving much more than what I dream about is quite possible." In today's episode, we will discuss the story of a man who, despite all the odds, built a better life for himself and became part of life for many around the world, one cup at a time. Howard Schultz. Schultz was born in Brooklyn. Growing up, his family had their own challenges financially. Reportedly, his parents, Fred and Elaine, never made more than $20,000 a year. With 3 children to feed, things were tough at home. His father worked hard but couldn't afford a house. One day, Schultz came home and found his father lying on the couch with a cast from his hip to his ankle. Feeling that his father had lost his sense of dignity and self-respect, built fear in Howard, fear of failure. With his dad on the couch, the phone kept ringing from collectors. Schultz was instructed by his parents to pick up the phone and pretend that they were not home. The family had no income, no health insurance, no workers' compensation, nothing to fall back on. With no money coming in, his parents would often discuss money issues. To escape money problem at home, Schultz would sit at the stairwell between floors and imagine a better life. He would also spend time on the basketball court. His mother would encourage him to pursue an education so that he could open doors for himself. To help out his family, Schultz got his first job at 12 selling newspapers. And then at 16, he worked at a fur store. In 1971, Schultz got an admission at the Northern Michigan University. His hope of getting a scholarship did not happen, so he had to pay for tuition by working part-time and by selling blood for cash. Schultz graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in communication. He attended the graduation ceremony by himself, as his parents could not afford to attend. His first job after graduation was selling office equipment door to door. He would make 50 cold calls a day. Half the money he made he would give to his parents. His first job led to others, and one day he found himself working at Hammerplast, a European company that made housewares. One of their customers was a small coffee company in Seattle, Washington. The orders from the coffee shop kept coming in. Howard, curious to see their operation, went to visit them in 1982. As soon as Schultz walked into the shop, he felt special. He met the owners, Jerry Baldwin, Gordon Bowker, Zev Siegel, and heard their coffee story. Schultz felt he had found something he has been looking for his entire life. The coffee shop was called Starbucks. Schultz showed his passion for the coffee shop, and the owners hired him as the director of retail operations. Schultz moved to Seattle with his wife Sherry. The company at the time only sold coffee beans, but that did not matter. Schultz enjoyed scooping up beans and sealing them in bags. After saving enough money for a trip to Italy, Schultz left to visit the land known for pizza. While walking on the streets of Milan, he passed various coffee bars. Working for a coffee company himself, Schultz was curious about how the coffee in Italy tastes like. He decided to walk into an Italian cafe. Little did he know his curiosity would change his life. As he was waiting for his order, he saw the community presence in the bar, the barista preparing drinks, the presence of the Italian music, the friendliness between the employees and the customer, the presence for art. For Schultz, this was home. It was love at first sight. He soon realized that Italy had something in their hands that can be introduced in America. After landing back in America, Schultz discussed the idea with his bosses. They, however, were not interested and told Schultz that's not for us. Schultz persisted and kept asking if he could try out his idea one time. The owners finally allowed him to open a coffee bar at the new location. The new store was not just another coffee shop. It was a community introducing people to a new lifestyle. As successful as the coffee bar was, the founders didn't want to go in the direction Schultz wanted to. Disappointed, Schultz left Starbucks in 1985. His departure from the company also meant he was no longer getting his paychecks. Remembering his dad's accident, Schultz knew he had to come up with a plan to avoid loneliness. He decided to open his one coffee shop, the Il Giornale. "I took my life in my hands, learned from anyone I could, and molded my success step by step." Schultz needed money for his new venture. He visited 200+ locations, but no one was interested. No money was coming in for about a year. Knowing that his wife was super supportive of his plans, Schultz kept on pushing. Eventually, he found some people who believed in his vision. It was an incredibly challenging and exciting time. By 1987, Schultz had 3 locations for Il Giornale. And then Schultz heard that the founders of Starbucks were selling their coffee shop with 17 locations. Schultz, with investors, bought Starbucks for $3.8 million and took over as the CEO. He was planning one of the most ambitious retail expansions in history. He knew from his experience at Il Giornale that the Italian coffee-style shops would not work in America. As in Italy, people prefer to spend their time at the bar. Schultz wanted Starbucks to be a socializing place, where people could have conversations in an open space while they have their favorite latte. The logo had to be redesigned. The interior had to be more welcoming. The changes worked. People started to schedule their meetings at Starbucks. Within 4 years, the coffee house chain grew from 17 stores to 140 outlets, with revenues of $73.5 million. The company was now valued at $271 million. Remembering that his dad did not have health insurance, in 1988, Schultz did something that was unheard of. He made Starbucks first companies in America to give health insurance to all employees, including part-timers. By 1991, Starbucks becomes the first privately owned U.S. company to offer a stock option to their employees. When the company did go public in 1992, employees sold their shares. That helped them put down payments on homes, pay off loans, pay for their weddings. In 1996, Howard Schultz decided to introduce Starbucks to the world. The first foreign location was opened in Japan, followed by Singapore, Korea, Taiwan, United Kingdom, Netherlands, Sweden, and Israel. By 1999, Starbucks had 2,498 locations around the world. Schultz had managed to take the idea of building a community around coffee to new heights. And then in 2000, Schultz decided to step down as the CEO and became the chairman of the $2 billion company he had built. Approaching 2007, customers felt that the company had lost the spirit of community with every cup. With the new tall coffee brewing machines, customers could not see barista preparing their coffee. But then in 2008, the recession hit. Schultz was on vacation in Hawaii and met an old friend, Michael Dell. They came up with a plan to bring the company back. The challenge to revive Starbucks was not easy. Schultz had to shut down 900 stores. 12,000 partners were let go. For Schultz, letting partners go was an extremely hard decision, as he knew this decision would have real impact on people. Even though many were let go, Schultz, remembering his father, stood by his principles and fought hard to provide health coverage to his employees. Schultz communicated with partners and encouraged an open forum that allowed others to ask questions. People would send him emails and Schultz would read them. Many ideas passed his desk, one of which was to include more food items, to which Schultz said, "We're not in the business of filling bellies, we're in the business of filling souls." Starbucks finally saw a sign of relief. After 4 years of hard work, their profits picked up. From the $7 million they had lost a year earlier, the profits jumped by a whopping 20%. Starbucks had rebounded financially. Schultz now stepped down as the CEO, but kept involved with the company as the executive chairman until 2018. By 2018, Starbucks had more than 28,000 locations in 77 countries. Schultz's story is much more than just coffee. Schultz used his own life experience and brought goodness. He created communities around coffee. He is an example that shows that hardships in life are only there to improve you as a person. On June 2018, with thousands of partners gathered outside Starbucks headquarters, Schultz shared his journey of 40-plus years with Starbucks and thanked everyone. Thank you for believing. Thank you for believing in each other, for believing in the company, and for believing in me. This has been the dream of a lifetime. I leave the stage with great humility, great appreciation, and great respect in thanking everyone who's here today and all the people you represent. I have never been more proud to wear the green apron. It was time for him to take the apron off. Now, it is time for us to say goodbye for this week. Until next time, have a good one.